Hey there, English learners. Did you know that you can use the free version of ChatGPT to help you improve your English? Did you also know that you can use ChatGPT to be your own personal grammar tutor, to give you English lessons, grammar explanations, make you worksheets within seconds to help you practice your English? And it can also make you different scripts for different scenarios to help you see what regular conversational English looks like. And you can also do so much more with ChatGPT. So in this video, I'll be sharing with you some scripts and prompts so you can learn how to use ChatGPT to improve your English, so you can have a personalized learning experience with ChatGPT. So let's say you don't know the difference between different words or expressions in English. So you can ask ChatGPT, what is the difference between and For example, you can ask, what's the difference between too much and too many? ChatGPT will give you an explanation of when to use it, why, what are the differences, and you can even ask for examples. So for example, you can say, can you give me 2 examples of each? Because seeing it in context sometimes is really helpful. Or maybe you don't really know what a word means, whether it's slang or just regular vocabulary. You can say, what does mean? ChatGPT will then give you the answer and it'll tell you what it means. Sometimes it will include examples, sometimes it won't. So if you want examples, you can always ask, can you give me some examples? Or can you give me a list of So maybe can you give me a list of situations where this word would be used? That's just an example. Or if you want to know when to use words, phrasal verbs, or just anything, you can say, give me examples of how to use in English. Maybe it'll give you 1 or 2 examples, but if you would like more, you can always ask for more. Or you can use ChatGPT to expand your vocabulary and learn different ways of saying things. So for example, if you just know one way of saying something, you can ask ChatGPT, can you give me other ways to say whether it be a word or a sentence or a phrase. ChatGPT will be able to give you other examples, which will help you diversify your vocabulary. Another thing English learners may struggle with, especially if they live in an English-speaking country or place, they might not know what real-life conversation looks like. So maybe they want to go to the pharmacy or the doctor or to order a coffee or maybe even to ask someone out and they're not really comfortable or sure on how to express certain things. So this is when you can ask ChatGPT to create you a script. So for example, you could say, can you write me a script for This can be whatever subject or situation you would like a script for. And if the script isn't exactly what you wanted, or if you would like to see other ways that a conversation can take place or progress, you can always ask ChatGPT to give you another script for that. In my other video, I actually did it and recorded it. So if you'd like to see what it looks like to play with ChatGPT to get different scripts for different topics, feel free to watch that video after this one. You can also ask ChatGPT to teach you something. So as I shared with you in my previous video, I got ChatGPT to explain when to use each present tense, why, and I asked for some examples. And if you watched that video, you know that ChatGPT can make you tests and quizzes within seconds, whether it be to test you on something that ChatGPT has already taught you or whatever you are currently working on or whatever you want to improve with your English. So let's say you want to make a test or a quiz. You can ask ChatGPT, make me a so the kind of quiz on So you could say, make me a fill in the blank quiz, a true and false quiz, a multiple choice quiz, and so on. And then you could say quiz or you could say worksheet. Usually I kind of say worksheet. So yeah, you can call it a test, a quiz, a worksheet, one of these words. And then on whatever subject you're working on. Maybe it's vocabulary, so the most common words in English, or the most common verbs in English, or on prepositions, or on conjugating in, whatever tense. Basically, you can do anything you want. You can be as creative as you want, but asking this question like this will give you amazing results. Also, something that I add when I ask this question, I usually ask that the questions are at the very bottom of the quiz, or the very bottom of the worksheet. So you'll be able to have the answers, but they won't be too close so that you can actually test yourself. Because if you don't mention it, sometimes it'll say question, answer, and you don't really want to see the answers right away before trying. You can also ask ChatGPT to check your grammar. So sometimes I will ask, is this grammatically correct? ... And then I will have a sentence or a paragraph, and ChatGPT will be able to review and tell me what's grammatically correct and what's not. And sometimes ChatGPT will try to change it. So if you don't want ChatGPT to change anything, you can ask it to not change anything, but to give you feedback. And if you're unsure of some of the words or explanations that you see from ChatGPT, you can also ask for a translation in your language. So for example, you can ask, can you write the translation in the language of your preference? Now I want to end off with some tips to help you really maximize your time with ChatGPT. You can share with ChatGPT how you would like your information. So for example, do you want it in table format? Because it can actually make a table for you. Or do you want it in point form? So you can ask in point form or in a list. Another thing I will say is that ChatGPT is not always 100% correct, and it may not always give the information you want. So feel free to rephrase your question or to ask for more. You can also ask for explanations. So if it tells you something about grammar or a word, you can ask for more of an explanation. So if you get a quiz and you see the answer is not what you thought, you can always ask, why is this answer this? And ChatGPT will explain why the answer is what it is. Also, I find that sometimes ChatGPT will make a long response for something when all I want is a very short response. So if it happens where ChatGPT gives you too long of an answer, you can always ask it, can you rewrite this, but with a maximum of words? So maybe 100 words or 75 words or 200 words or whatever you want. But if you want to see how I personally played with ChatGPT and watch ChatGPT in action while it helps me improve my English, click here to watch this. Also, please note that I've put the prompts down below. So if you want to copy and paste some of the prompts that I've mentioned that were marked here, feel free to do so. Take care and bye-bye.